Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, out on another exploration, and this time I'm with Richard Verrall. Hello, Richard.
Hello.
We are at the parish church of West Grinstead, St George's, is that right?
That's right.
In West Sussex, and you very kindly agreed to show me around.
Well, we do our best.
What's your role with the church?
Well, not a great deal these days, but I've been a bell ringer here for 70 years.
Have you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So a great privilege, I imagine, ringing the bells on
definitely.
such an ancient church.
Definitely, yes, that's right.
And quite qualified to take me around then.
Well, I suppose so, as long as you don't want to go on the bells.
No. We've done a few bells in our walks. So
Good.
Shall we have a little stroll round and
Of course.
and point out a few interesting things? I guess we should sort of try and indicate how old the church is.
Well, there has been, I understand they found traces of graves back to 1011 here.
Have they?
And it's a very ancient site, obviously. And it was originally a Catholic church, particularly, with the Carroll family being very strong in the parish. Carrolls are related to the Gorings all along the South Downs.
Right. I mean, you told me some interesting things about the churches along here by the very fact that it's by the river.
Well, if you think about it, the Weald used to be a marsh.
Yes.
There were no such things as good roads at all, until quite recently. The only real way inland was by the river, and the river down there, the river Adur, this is the highest navigable point from Shoreham. And if you think about it, all the churches are built very close to the river as you come up.
And on slight right or hills or
Definitely,
rises.
we are only just above flood level here,
Right.
as most of the churches are.
Yes.
I mean, Shipley Church is the same. That was built with stone brought on the barge up to the wharf, which is about a mile west. And I've seen a torrent of water rushing past that. And it's only just above flood level.
Oh wow!
Believe it or not.
So let's have a little. We'll have a little stroll around the church first before we just go inside, because it is extremely hot here at the moment.
Certainly is.
It certainly is. So you were telling me some interesting facts about the Horsham stone, because one of the useful things about the church being by the river is that you could bring the stone to build the church from overseas in France.
That's quite right. Well, there is no really good building stone certainly in this part of Sussex. Horsham stone, which you mentioned, that's a very good roofing stone because it splits. It's friable, but it only comes in thin slabs. It doesn't come in blocks, and it's not a good thing to cut. So it's very useful for pavements, roofing. But if you want to build something, you've got to import stone from the nearest place. Actually, is France from here, only a few miles down the river.
Yes, and with the access to the river, relatively easy. Certainly far more easy than trying to bring it on any rough track.
Well, it wouldn't be a rough track when this was built. It'd be just mud tracks.
Yes.
So the Romans built roads, but they connected Chichester with London. They weren't interested in byways like this. So poor old locals had to do the best they could.
Yes.
So the only way really was by river. So you put your stone on and brought it up river and unloaded it literally 200 yards.
So I thought we'd just go down to that little bridge that you showed me before, because it would be nice to have a glimpse of the river to show just how close.
That's right.
The church is. We also get a view of the church behind us,
and if you'll notice, the pathway is almost all Horsham stone.
Which means that it must be, as you said to me, an ancient path, because that stone was not put down recently.
Good Lord, no. No, well, we go over a very ancient causeway, which is just above flood level. Hard to believe today, I know, but there can be a raging torrent where we're about to go.
I'll let you go through the gate first. So so we're walking on this Horsham stone, which is all behind me and on the ground, and of course it circumnavigates pretty much all of the church. Thank you very much, Richard. I'll come on your left hand side if that's okay, or your right hand side.
The old ancient causeway which goes across the river to Butcher's Row, which is another ancient settlement. There used to be 3 houses in Butcher's Row. The nearest one to us is number 92. That's not a house number, that is a parish number.
Right.
Very ancient.
Very ancient system.
And if you see the pathway in front of us, imagine there was a torrent either side of this, about 3 foot deep.
Gosh. So when it floods,
When it floods, it floods.
it floods dramatically.
We haven't had a flood like that for many years, but I'm sure we're going to have another one soon. Almost always does.
So the wharf where the Saxons would have sort of moored up their boats, or the Saxons presumably, as opposed to the Normans, when they were building the church.
Well, I expect the Normans were involved, but it was obviously built before that.
Yeah.
Yes, the wharf goes due west from here.
Right.
We're approaching the river, but you wouldn't think so at the moment. It's just overgrown with undergrowth.
Yes. And up until fairly recently, these little rivers, although this is the Adur, as you say, that comes out at Newhaven.
Yeah, no,
at
Shoreham.
At Shoreham,
Yes.
beg your pardon.
It's the Ouse.
Yeah, that's the Ouse. I'm getting confused with
the Ouse.
with
right.
the Ouse, yes. Which is crossing the bridge now. But these rivers, which now is sort of fairly stationary, would have been maintained by the Waters Agency.
Well, up to probably 30 years now. We had the National River Board, which were in charge of all the drainage in the country, including sea defences. And then they became the local Sussex River Board and so on. And then that was abandoned, and we've now belonged to the EIEIO, as I call them, the Environmental Agency.
And they do very little to look after it.
No, well, the conservationists, you're not allowed to touch anything.
Right.
You're not allowed to scrape the bank, do anything anymore.
And so it's
Well, it's an absolute wilderness, as you
Yes.
could probably see.
Yes. Yeah. No. What a shame.
It is. You
And-
can imagine where those sheep are. That is underwater when it floods, right up. Can you see the sheep?
Yes.
Imagine that would be under 2 foot of water,
2
3
foot
foot
of water. And without the river being able to rush the water away, it's just going to get worse.
Well, of course, if you get the first water away,
Yes.
that's it. That is the essence of all drainage. Get rid of the water to start with. Not wait till you've got a flood and then wonder what
And
you're
then
going to do with it.
then you've got to pump it or
Don't.
whatever.
Don't.
Shall we go back to the church and show me the inside?
Indeed.
So, Richard, you're going to take me inside the church,
We
and
are.
we're going to see just some of the features that you'd kindly show me.
Right you are.
So we're going in, which is quite nice actually. Is this the north entrance we're going in?
This is the north entrance. Going back to the river again, of course, the south door would have been the main entrance.
Yes.
At one time.
Yes,
Now, of course, we all come by cars.
that's it.
This is the main entrance,
So-
but
yeah.
this is not really the main entrance.
No,
How do we do this one?
I'll let you go first. And
Do you want a light on or not?
Oh yes, please. So it's a bit of a contrast from outside in the bright sunshine.
I'm not going to get any more lights. Actually.
No, that's okay. We'll see what we can see. So the church has the tower in the centre.
Not actually centre. It's in the south aisle.
Oh, it's
actually.
in the south aisle.
It's in the south aisle.
That's quite unusual, isn't it?
Yes, there are quite a few have the tower in the middle, like Alfriston, South Harting,
Yes.
right in the middle. But this is offset.
Yeah. I mean, you're so used to seeing the churches with the west tower.
That's right.
As
No,
very
this
much
is-
a traditional.
It's more or less. It isn't actually central even. It's more cast
more
to
to
the east, really.
Oh right. But we're in here, so what we see, a lot of it, of course, whenever you go into a church, what you tend to see is not the original
No.
by any means, because
No,
the
no,
church
no,
has
no.
been there for 9,000 years and it's all changed over that time. But you've got some very interesting features. Shall we go and look at some of the stonework, because we were talking about
Indeed.
the stone earlier.
We shall see a bit of an example of the natural stone that we get in Sussex, what we call Sussex winkle stone.
Right.
And you will notice, if you examine it closer, you can see the little crustaceans in it, which have been petrified into about 9 inches of a slab. It's not very thick stone, and it's not very, well, it won't weather very well, because the weather gets into the winkles and winkles them out. Sorry about that. But if it's cut and polished, it makes what's called Sussex marble, which I believe you mentioned
Yes,
just
I
now.
know. I did come across some in Petworth.
A very pretty stone when it's cut. So we've got a bit of an example of this, but it's not really good for building.
No, so that's why it's on the ground.
Unfortunately, it's on the ground, and although there was a sign of a design in it, it's difficult to see what it was.
Yes.
One of these was carved, but you can't see anything of it now.
See it? No, it's a
It's
shame.
a shame. Well, going back to the Burrells and the Carrolls, we have the Burrell monument there.
And the Burrells and the Carrolls are the local
Well, they were
big
all they're
landowners.
the family that came. The Carrolls and the Gorings owned all along the South Downs,
Right.
and their name appears in all the churches somewhere. And this is all in aid of the Burrells, and there's another Burrell monument there, which you can see. That's a famous sculpture, Flaxman, supposed to be worth a fortune.
Oh, right.
And,
don't say that.
and there's another Burrell monument there.
Fantastic.
And while we're talking about the Burrells, we're approaching, under the bells in a moment, the Burrell family vault, which unfortunately is sealed up, but it's a proper vault with steps down to it.
Have you ever been down there?
Oh yes, yes. I had hoped they'd leave it so we could get up and down, but the powers that be decided to cement it over again.
Yes.
That is down under the red carpet.
Here we go.
The vault is under this red carpet.
Oh, right. It's a shame we can't go down there.
It is.
But you did let me, before we did the filming, you let me go up into the bell tower and have a look at the bells, and I've taken some photographs. It's very dark and narrow staircase up there.
It's not. You should have done a risk assessment before I let you up there, really.
Well, let's say you did. And you thought, yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, well.
I'll lock the door and pretend he never turned up.
That's right.
No one would miss me.
Now, I must tell you a true story about this. I may have mentioned the bells were redone in 1910. Well, prior to that, the bell founder came down from Croydon, from Gillett and Johnson, and going over the river again to 92 Butchers Row, the then church sexton gave him the key so he could come in and look. He went to work. When he came home late at night, his wife said, "Man hadn't brought that key back." So he came over and had a look, and he heard a groan from where we're standing. And when he went up, he found the man had fallen off the bell frame and had been laying with a broken leg up there all day on his own.
Oh my goodness.
And if he hadn't come back and found him, well, goodness knows. But how they got him down, I don't know, if you saw the stairs.
Yes.
But it just shows you how careful you must be when you go in the bells and things like that.
Yes, I only went, just so everyone's reassured, I only went to the top of the stairs and had a look. But what was interesting is on the wall was loads of pencil marks from people who'd obviously serviced the bells or ring the bells or looked after them, dating back to 1913 I saw, probably earlier, but they were the ones I saw.
Oh yes.
So yeah, and it's incredible to see those marks because it just connects you with history, doesn't it? That
it does.
Somebody was up there.
Definitely.
You've got another artefact which is just behind us here. This old, this safe, you say it is.
This large oak box, in fact, is not a coffin, as it might appear to be. It is in fact a chest, obviously where the valuables were kept, money or any other church items. It's very solid, very heavy, and you can actually see the metal clasp hinges. It obviously had a lid and was lockable at one time.
Yes.
How old it is, I do not know.
You also have in here the invisible soldiers.
That's right. That's all done in memory of the First World War.
Yes, and over the last, since 2014, we've been commemorating.
That's right.
The First World War. Right. I'm just trying to find. Here we go.
That's right.
Here they are, and these are perspex silhouettes in a way, representing.
That's right.
The people who were here.
That's right, representing the people we've lost. And while we're looking at the pews, you'll notice they've all got names on the back.
Oh yes.
These are all small holdings which were on the West Grinstead estate mostly. And the interesting thing is, I've been told, if you look, they're only wide enough for one person.
Oh right.
The rumour is that the husband, as the important man, sat up the front, and the wife sat at the back in an unmarked pew.
That won't go down so well these days with our modern audiences. However, it is history.
Definitely.
And that's how things were.
Definitely.
Which is, of course, always interesting. Well, Richard, thank you for taking me round. I know it's only been a brief look from the video point of view, but I've had a lovely time.
Wonderful.
I should come back and take some pictures now.
That's right.
But thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Join me again on another walk somewhere else, another investigation, and until then, goodbye. That was easy, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. It's any good or not.
Yes.